adorable card with a bunch. This is filled with the different techniques for our December video kit club. So I am going to be using the Many Thanks. You will all be receiving this Many Thanks die in your kit, but if you want to switch it up and do one of the other Miniature Moment dies from Tonic Studios, they have a ton of beautiful ones. There's a great heartfelt sympathy with love, congrats, just to say, pretty much anything. So there are a lot of really adorable, tiny, intricate dies like this. So like I said, we're gonna be doing watercoloring. If you did not do last month's video kit, this was included in your video kit from last month. So you're gonna want to order this if you don't have a watercolor set to work with. And this is not included in this month's kit because we sent it to you last month to use for last month and this month. So to get started, we are going to take our little card and set it aside. We are going to take our stamp set, and this is Build the Flower stamp set 811, which is really fun because you have a lot of different options. It's a nice, really basic set, so it's really fun to see all the different things that our designers have done. And in your kit, you are going to be getting the already pre-cut flowers and the pots and the leaves to do this. So if you have a way to cut out your stuff digitally, we have the cut files available for you to make more of these. So I'm going to take my first little flower, and we're going to be doing 3 flowers, so you can lay out all 3 flowers to begin with. And I'm going to take my little static free bag and go over all of my flowers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up on my block. This block has a nice grid, so I'm going to line up my smaller flower. So there's a larger one and a small one. We're just going to be using the small ones for this card, and I'm going to center it so when I stamp it and line it up, I know exactly where it's going on my little flowers here. So I'm going to now take my VersaMark and ink up my stamp, and then I can go ahead and just drop one at a time right in there. And this is going to be more of an artsy look, so you don't have to worry about it being perfectly centered on your pre-cut flowers. So don't panic. You can do nice, quick, boom, 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 just like that and be done. So at this moment, you can go ahead and stamp your pot and your leaves and get that all prepared for the watercoloring. Add your white embossing powder. I prefer white versus white detail. The white detail, you're gonna see through it more when you add your watercolor. So if you do not have a white embossing powder, you can go ahead and order that, add that to your kit. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my embossing powder like I did here. You're gonna wanna use your tweezer tool and heat set all of this. And like I said, this would be a good moment too to do your pot and your 2 leaves per card. So I've already gone ahead and added and heat set my flowers. So I'm going to show you how fun, quick, and easy this is. Do a little adjusting here. Bring over my watercolors. Boop. There we go. So like I said, this is the Pearlescent watercolor set that you received in last month's kit. And I have a little dish of clean water, and then I have a little dish of the water to clean my brush. And what you're going to do to create your flowers is you are going to take your entire flower and give it a dunk. So I dip the whole thing in my clean water, and I'm going to set it on a little piece of paper towel. And then the 3 colors that we are using is the yellow, the purple, and this really beautiful teal color. Now, obviously you can pick whatever colors you want. Those are just the 3 colors that I'm going to use. And I'm going to start with the purple. So to activate it, just get your brush wet. You can also use your mini mister and squirt your whole palette, which is really fun and easy to activate all of your watercolors. And I am just activating just like this. And then I'm going to go over my wet flower with color. And you could see that resist technique with the stamped out flower with the purple embossing powder. And this is a really fun way to do flowers, to have it have that more natural look instead of a flat piece of paper. So once you've colored your flower, I'm just going to pretty much fold it in half and then keep folding and kind of squish it. So I'm giving it a nice squish, breaking up the fibers in that paper, and then I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Now I'm going to let it dry just like this, so it has that beautiful texture to it that really, it no longer has the brush strokes in it, and it has that dimension when it dries. So I'm going to set, so you do that with all 3 of your flowers and set those aside. And now I also did that with my leaf. So I'm going to take my leaf here that is already pre-embossed. So I've got my leaf design, there you go. You can see that it was already pre-embossed. I'm going to rinse the purple off my brush, and I'm going to activate this light green color. And then we're just going to paint over my leaf, and then I'll show you the folding technique. Oh, we didn't dunk it. Look at that. Dunk your leaf first. And then we are going to add our green watercolor. Now if you want to add some dimension, some different variations in your green, you can go ahead and apply the darker green to that as well. I'm going to now fold this leaf in half, and then I'm doing more like a back and forth fold, like a pleating. So kind of like that. And then let that dry as well. And then to do your pot, I am simply going to rinse the green off my brush. I'm not dunking my pot because my pot is going to remain flat. So this is already stamped with the pot stamp, which fits right in there. And then I'm going to take the black and I'm just going to go right over it in these little brush strokes. Now you can, if you want to lighten it up, you can add a little bit of the white next to it. You can make a gray in your palette on the lid, so you can mix your white and your black together and make a nice palette. I like the really dark blacky gray color that you get. And just go ahead and just do your back and forth. It doesn't have to be perfect. I like it to look a little bit more natural with that terracotta pot look, minus the terracotta color. And just set that aside and let that dry. So now your watercoloring for your flowers is completed. So next what we're going to do is we are going to work on assembling the back of our card and then adding our glitter. So I am going to set these guys aside, move over my watercolor, and we are going to take this really fun background. I've got a couple of different things to tell you about. This is the stencil that we used last month, and this is part of that stencil, not stencil, the die. Sorry guys. Here we go. Ignore my freckles. Look away from the freckles. Okay, here we go. So this right here is the die from last month's video kit club, and that's the Moroccon Mosaic. And you got this beautiful one, and then you have this other one, which I told you guys we were going to use this month, and then you have this third little border piece. And all of these screen dies are really fun because you have a lot of fun diversity. You can do these on scrapbook pages because they're nice and big, or you can do them in their cards. So we are also offering a 3-pack. If you buy all 3 of the screen dies, you get a great deal. So take advantage of those. I will definitely post the item number, and they are only available for a limited time. We have very limited quantities. So if you want to take advantage of this great deal, do so. And if you already purchased the Moroccon die, but you want to add the other 2, we have a special price so you can take advantage of that 3-pack as well. So I went ahead and ran these through the die cut machine. You can do 2 at the same time. They're going to come pre-cut for you with your video kit club. And then, so you have a white background, you're just going to peel off. I stuck a little piece of Terrific tape, and then I am just going to stick a little white piece of cardstock there. So I have a white background when I go ahead and add my sticker paper. So you're also going to be receiving 5 sheets of sticker paper, and I cut this one down so therefore my black cardstock fits nicely into it, and it has a nice border. We've got our white strip of cardstock right here, so this isn't sticky. Now if you just put this over your sticker paper, then when we add our yellow glitter, this is all going to be yellow, which is fine too, but it's just not going to pop as much as it will with a white background. So there's just a couple things to think about. Now I am going to take my Daisy Microfine glitter, and this is that velvety, silky glitter, which is a lot of fun. And I am going to be adding that to my sticker paper. So like I said, you get 5 sheets of that sticker paper, which will be plenty for you to do your 5 cards, to do this border as well as for our saying. So once you sprinkle that all around, I am going to take my finger tool and I'm going to burnish. And especially with your microfine glitters and with your flockings, you always want to burnish that in there, just so you don't have any little pieces left behind. Tap that off. I'm going to take my dry brush, my glitter resist brush, and wipe off any loose glitter. Another little trick, if you don't like that your trellis is popped up, you can take your little glue pen and just add a little dots of glue underneath on the black part and then stick it down so it will be adhered to that cardstock. So that's just another little trick that I did. All right, wipe that off, and now we can set this aside. I'm going to put that back so we can now work on our saying. Now, like I said in the beginning, you get your many thanks die, which I said over here. You get your many thanks die with your Video Kit Club. If you don't have a die cut machine, make sure you contact the shop and let them know, and they will pre-cut these for you. So find out, there'll be some more information about that, and you can call and get info. Now, a couple tricks to cutting out your words on sticker paper. You want to make sure you're not cutting out just on the plain white paper, because then the sticky's just going to be on the back. And then when you go to do the next technique I'm going to show you, you are going to not get the achieved effect. So make sure when you run it through your die cut machine, you absolutely do it with the sticky facing up. So the backing paper, which has the writing on it, is facing up. And then another little trick, this is my second one and the first one from this company, but this is the Sizzix little, I don't even know the name of these things, but I will post the link as well. But this is great, especially with those intricate dies, because it takes all those little pieces out for you. So this really makes your work, if you do a lot of die cutting, go much faster. So I highly recommend this one, and we have that available for you as well on our website. So you are going to pop the backing off of your sticker paper. So this is what they look like when they're all done. So you can still see the writing on it. And I just popped the backing off there. So there's my sticker paper. I'm going to apply my daisy all over my many thanks. Finger tool. Burnish that in very gently. These miniature moments are really fragile, which give such a beautiful look to them, but you can't just treat them like a big thick piece of paper. You have to be a little bit more delicate with them. We know how hard that is for me. All right, so I'm going to take my dry brush and just gently wipe off any loose glitter, and I'm going to do the same on the back. Hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. We went camping and froze our little heinies off, but it was still such a great time. Shout out to the Keenans. Woo, good times. Okay, so now we're gonna have some more fun with our watercolor. The cool thing about microfine glitters is you can add a bunch of fun different colors to them. So because you guys have the whole watercolor kit, you can play around with different colors to add. You can also do this in the Cloud 9 versus the Daisy Yellow, and then you could really have fun and do like an ombre. So the possibilities are endless. So I am going to take my water brush and clean that off, and I am going to be using that teal color that we used for one of the flowers. and just activate your color. Now I wouldn't recommend doing purple over the yellow. It's gonna look brownish for all of you people that do adding color to your, that know mixing colors is what I'm saying. I'm like blah, blah, blah. Look at me trying to do two things at once. Okay, so I add like a thick amount of color, and then I'm gonna rinse my brush, and I'm gonna make it more ombre by pulling the color up. So I just now applied a heavy amount of color to the top and the bottom. Do you see how it's kind of uneven and not so pretty? So what I'm gonna do now to make it pretty, I'll bring in another one so you could see, is I'm gonna rinse my brush. Make sure your brush isn't too wet, so dab it a little bit, and then I'm gonna pull that color up, pull that color down, and that is going to give it that really pretty ombre look. And I'm gonna go and finish this around all the letters. So your many thanks looks really ombre. This is a fun technique to do on all these little miniature dies, or even just a background die. Just think of all the color variations that you can do by just adding your watercolor to your microfine glitter. And like I said, with the Cloud 9, you can apply all the different rainbow colors, which will be lots of fun. All right, so now that I have that completed, I'm gonna let that dry, and it's an absolute beautiful way to do your word dies on your sticker paper. Okay, so next we are going to be doing the assembling, which will be very fun, and hopefully all my flowers are dry and will stick, but hey, who knows? That's the joy of videos. Okay, so I'm gonna take my little pot and I'm gonna stick my pot on first, and I am going to make sure like you have enough room for your many thanks. So this mark here will kind of be my guide. I don't want to go too much past my halfway mark on my grid. So I am going to stick my pot right there. Oh, I didn't ombre my border. Stick that right there. And now we're going to add our flowers. So you can use your little glue dots, you can use your Terrific tape. These are just nice and easy and good. My flowers are kind of dry. You can probably speed up your dry time with your heat tool, which will be fun too. And I'm gonna add my little purple one there. Okay, once you have all of your flowers attached, you can attach your leaves. So I'm gonna stick one little guy up there. Great. And one down here. And now I'm going to attach my many thanks by just taking my glue pen again and just adding a little bit of adhesive to the back, and randomly, you don't have to put it everywhere, but just a couple of the thicker areas on my seine, and then place that down right about there. And now to avoid touching my paper, I'm gonna grab the backing of my sticker paper or like some Terrific tape and just push that down, and then that will be nice and adhered. So there you go. Now a couple other fun things to do is I can take my paintbrush again and my watercolor, and I can just add just some darker layering to my little flower here. Just some darker coloring like I did on the original guy. So see like the little border, so you can do that around your leaves and everything. And then you also receive the Nouveau Jewel Drops. So these are really fun, and you're going to be getting the Keylime. So what I'm gonna do is I applied 3 really big drops down here just for fun, and it looks totally different on the black cardstock, as you can see here, dried, as it does on the white cardstock. So I also put it in through my trellis die. So I just did tiny little dots here. And when you first apply it, it does not look the same color as it does when it's completely dried. So you can have fun and add, you get the green, the key lime in your kit, but it would be really cute to add a little bit of the pale periwinkle or the limoncello, which would be really pretty. I also added a couple accent drops on the ends of my leaves that you can see here. So it'd be fun to do all the different color drops on your actual flowers. And then inside, if you want to, a lot of you already have our dimensional glue, but you can add your dimensional glue to the inside of your flowers and sprinkle that with some more of the beautiful daisy glitter. And then all you need to do is add that to your card base that you received with some Terrific tape, and you are good to go. All right, so here is your lovely finished card. There's also a really adorable saying on this stamp set that would go great on the inside. And check out our blog. Here is one card from designer Ann Temple, which is just beautiful. You can see the possibilities are endless. She used an amazing die from Tonic, which I love. I have this die. It's really cool, nice and big. And then a lot of flowers. So you can see the possibilities are endless. Make sure you check out the blog at Sparkle and Sprinkle to see all the instructions of the beautiful cards that our designers make. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more. And if you have any questions about becoming a Kit Club member, make sure you contact our shop. Don't forget to comment, like, and on behalf of us, of everyone at Sparkle and Sprinkle, have a very happy holiday. Bye-bye.